Season of parenting. The title says it all. This week we're talking about parenting. And parenting starts from the moment our first child is born until they become teenagers. Or no, until we die. As a friend of mine, a parent, used to say, when we become parents, we become slaves for life. But we actually love it.
Or as some are saying, it's to agree to have your heart walk around outside of your body. Having a child is so common. It's a natural cycle of life. Yet, it's such a unique experience. And you don't really know what it means until it happens to you.
Jesus never had children. This is what the lesson brings as a point right from the beginning. And similarly, some people will make that choice too. However, there is another group of people who have the desire to have children, but for some reason, they will not be able to. And God has a personal message to them. I, says God, I keep track of all your sorrows. I have collected all your tears in a bottle. I have recorded each and every one in my book. Psalms 56:8. Life is unpredictable. Life is also not under our control. Unfortunate things happen. But do they cut us short from God's love? Not at all.
This lesson may be perceived as only pertaining to a special, privileged group of people who can actually have children. Many of us don't know the pain and struggle to not have such an option. For others, this topic may be irrelevant as they have decided to stay away of it. But in one way or another, we all experience certain way of parenting, be it through adoption, mentoring, or any other interaction and care for younger ones. So some of the principles that this lesson looks at may be good for all of us. Being a parent is a tough job. But what if you have to do it alone?
When I was single, I was looking at some young families with kids around me, and I was marveling at the blessings that they get with that. Little did I know how hard it is to make things work in a parent-child relationship. It's always happening behind the scenes. It's rarely done in public places. I used to have a friend of mine, a business partner, who was a single father, and he would often proudly tell me, "Tsetso, I have a son, and I raised him by myself, alone, while working every day and on the weekends, but always I'll be rushing back for his bedtime story." I can only try to imagine how hard it is for a single parent to run and manage a household. There's nobody who can cover for you. There's nobody you can switch with. There's nobody you can share the good and the bad stuff in life. However, parenting, being a parent, brings a lot of joy and rewards that you cannot achieve in any other way.
Looking through the Bible for guidance and examples, one can be really surprised what a struggle it is. A woman and a child sent away because Abraham and Sarah had a very wrong idea. Bathsheba pregnant because of the sexual advances of a very powerful man. So many widows. Our world is messy. Our lives are messy, and our experiences are very individual. There is no one recipe or model that we can just copy.
Are you hungry? No, I'm not. Do you need something? I'm good. Sometimes parents think that when raising up kids, it's good enough for them to provide for their immediate basic needs like food and clothing. However, God finds it as equally important for the parents to lead their children into keeping the way of the Lord by doing what is just and right. Showing them an example is an excellent motivator, but also many times kids need to be corrected and disciplined with love and kindness. The Bible is full of examples of parenting gone wrong due to favoritism or lack of will for disciplining on behalf of the parents, or being an example of a parent with a weak self-control, or being an example of a parent doing some evil actions in the sight of our kids. The truth is that we as parents would have spent the most time with our kids, in a relationship with them that could have helped them become disciples of Jesus Christ.
It's amazing how much kids copy from their parents unconsciously. It's a very important inheritance, and so much easier to copy the bad stuff. We're called to help them and guide them to develop a personal friendship with God, teaching the theory about the story, the character of God, and also by living accordingly, living our dependence of God.
How about me? How did I do as a parent? I did everything by the book. I showed the best example possible, and I showed my child what is the best way of life. And again, it didn't go as I expected it or as I planned it. Did I fail? The lesson puts it in one sentence. Being a good parent is our choice. How our children turn out to be is theirs. Does that get me off the hook? Not at all. As I said earlier, we continue to be parents until we die. And we will continue to support our child. We will continue to show love and kindness. We will persist on praying for them. I would like to conclude my thoughts in this lesson with something that I learned when my daughter was born, still a baby. Someone told me, we can only do to the best of our ability when being parents. The rest is in God's hands and according to our children's choices.
Man, why did we all get this free will? I guess we have to learn to live with it.
The journey continues next week with the title, Times of Loss.